Ladies and gentlemen, the Canadian Minister of Veterans Affairs, the Honourable Aaron O'Toole. Ladies and gentlemen, the Canadian Minister of Veterans Affairs, the Honourable Aaron O'Toole.
Mr. Speaker, Congressional leaders, distinguished guests, veterans of the 1st Special Service Force and your families. It's my honour to be here on behalf of Prime Minister Stephen Harper and the Canadian government today, and 2 of my parliamentary colleagues are here in Washington with me. I'm also honoured to be here as Canada's Veterans Affairs Minister and as someone who wore the Canadian Armed Forces uniform because of inspiration from your generation. And I want to thank the United States Congress for this prestigious honour, extraordinary recognition for extraordinary efforts. 1,800 Americans and Canadians came together to form the 1st Special Service Force. They were united in training to become a commando force that would be disruptive on the battlefields of Europe. They were also united in the knowledge that their service and their unique style bore extreme risks. And their service was tremendous and indeed legendary by now, in Italy and in France. In Anzio in particular, where they fought for 99 days without relief. So we're fortunate today that this special occasion allows us to bring some of them together. We get to hear from Charlie and Eugene. And we get to remember those who are not with us, like Tommy Prince from Manitoba, Canada's most decorated Aboriginal veteran of the Second World War. Thank you. Please. Mr. Prince served as a reconnaissance scout, and our nation awarded him the Military Medal, and yours, the Silver Star. In fact, Mr. Prince was one of 59 Silver Stars awarded by the U.S. government to Canadians serving under command in the Devil's Brigade. And today we must also remember the 463 of your comrades who did not return from the war. In many ways, the Devil's Brigade also symbolizes the unique ability of 2 of the world's great nations to work together to secure freedom far from our shores. The Devil's Brigade, as the folklore shows, brought together bagpipes and bugles, lieutenants and lieutenants. It brought together young men from Toronto and young men from Topeka. They served and trained together, and they sacrificed together. The book of John says, "Greater love has no man than this, that a man lay down his life for his friends." In the 1st Special Service Force, they were neighbors who became allies, who became friends, and were willing to sacrifice for their friends and for the principles that the unit stood for. This shared sacrifice between our nations began before the Devil's Brigade. I was on the hallowed grounds of Arlington today to see the Canadian Cross of Honour erected in 1930 by our government in those majestic fields to honour the 3,000 Americans who died in World War I serving with Canadian units. And the heroics of the Devil's Brigade continue. Our joint defense of North America through NORAD, Korea, where Tommy Prince served in the Battle of Kapyong, in the Korean War. In Afghanistan, where the 40 Americans who died serving alongside Canadians in Kandahar are held as close to our chest as the 158 men and women we lost in that dangerous province. And today, our Royal Canadian Air Force and our soldiers from the JTF-2, the successor unit to the Devil's Brigade, are serving in Iraq in cause of freedom and alongside our allies and friends like those in the United States. So it's my honour to represent Canada here today, to thank you for recognizing these special veterans and allowing us to remember the service and sacrifice their unit represents. Thank you very much.